What's going on, everybody? We are back with a 216 pregame show for your Cleveland Browns. We did not have one last week. London game screwed everybody up on that one. But we're back live again this week. I am Jared Fatty Bates. He is Brian Phillips. And we are here with another 216 show. Hopefully hyping up the Browns for a big win today in Steeler country. But man, we got a lot to recover from the past couple weeks that we've been off. We got a new starting quarterback. Joe Flacco is gone, has been traded to the Bengals. We have Dylan Gabriel now as the head man. Also, Shador is the backup today. That's some big news because somebody, not naming names, thought it was going to be Zippy Zappy taking over there as the backup role, but they have confidence that Shador's doing it. And also, we watched a London game slip through our fingers like we did the Cincinnati game. And another one right before that. What was the other one? We actually won that one. But yes, so a lot to get into today. Brian, how is your week going, my friend?
Week's going good. I'm feeling good, baby. We're feeling fine and refreshed at this moment. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I see you're clean shaved. See, it's a different era, baby. It's a different era. It's the Dylan Gabriel era.
I had to. Wife said enough with the Papa beard. It's got to go. I was like, all right, fine.
Love
I'll
it.
shave it.
Yeah. No, but no. As far as the Browns go, man, the last week's loss in London against Minnesota Vikings was by far the most heartbreaking loss for me. I would have almost rather lost by a missed field goal or something like that. I just Kevin Stefanski, coach scared. We'll probably get into it a little more in detail, but I just was really frustrated with how he finished the game once he had the lead. 3 of the 4 final drives that he had were run up the middle, pass, incomplete. I just thought he was kind of playing scared rather than trying to play for the win. And in my estimation, every time I watch a game and somebody coaches that way, they typically lose. And you watch most people probably saw the game in Pittsburgh or in London that Pittsburgh had 2 weeks ago against the same Vikings team, and Tomlin didn't play scared. Tomlin went for it on 4th down 2 times, and it was still scary at the end there. They could have lost it, right? But in the end of the day, their defense stepped up and ours did not. So I didn't like how Stefanski used the timeouts. I think when the Vikings are trying to score, you're giving them extra time, extra juice, extra energy. I get it. Your defense is exhausted, but they're trying to score. Don't give them more time. I understand the philosophy of trying to save as much time as you can for yourself when you get the ball back. But I just didn't like it. I don't like how he coached. And that's, I think pretty well, and our fans probably know pretty well that I'm a pretty big Kevin Stefanski apologist, so to say.
Yeah.
But I was pissed at how he handled that game last week, which I think should have been a win. What about you, bud?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. The only thing I take a little bit differently was it was a rookie 3rd round pick under the helm, and try to do everything you can to protect him, especially in a weird week when it is in London. Your whole schedule's off. You're flying out to London. You're playing. Hey, normally we're here at 9:30 doing breakfast, watching the game while they're having a blast. Like, it's just a weird concept, playing in London and everything. I do think that he was so conservative. Part of it, I think he had to be with Gabriel as the starter and trying to protect him as best as he could. But also it showed you that, but we got some dogs on this team. Judkins is looking. I still can't believe, touchdown call back with a holding and just like, God, just kills. You know what I mean? Like, those are the ones that kill everything. Yep. And so I agree with you there at the end of the game. I think Stefanski should have done something better than what he did. I think there was a different philosophy you could have done. I'm still, for the longest time, I've been somewhat of a Stefanski fan, but I criticized Stefanski to the point where I believe now and looking at it, if you want him to be an offensive coordinator, that's fine and dandy. As a head coach right now, I'm just not seeing it as a head coach. And
Yeah.
people, and I brought chinks in the armor with, everybody kept telling me, well, he's a 2-time coach of the year. I was like, I want you to go back and look at those years and just sit here and go for a second. Just think about this, though. The first
Okay.
year, the Browns got in the playoffs. First time they've been in the playoffs since how long?
2007.
Of course, the national media is going to be like, "Oh shit, the Browns are in the playoff. That guy deserves Coach of the Year."
Yeah.
And the next one was, "Holy crap, they got a 39-year-old Joe Flacco off the couch, and he's looking like this. That guy deserves Coach of the Year."
Yeah.
So there's some chinks in the armor, but we should have had one. Right now, honestly, we should have 2, possibly 3 wins with this team. We should have beat the Bengals. We didn't, but we definitely should have won this game, and our team would be looking a lot different than what it is now. Also, with the fact of us now, we're going to get into it, trading away Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. First time ever we've traded with Cincinnati.
Yep.
Kind of like it. A lot of people were like, what the hell's going on? This is probably Joe Flacco's last year. Do you want to ride the pine pony here in Cleveland behind some rookies, or do you want to still try to play football? And Cincinnati called them and said, hey, we have problems here, so let's do that. Then also the big news that happened this week, Greg Newsome traded to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I thought that he would be on the trade block. We do have some sources. I thought there would be another trade pulled off today before the game from the rumblings that have been going on. But stay tuned. There's probably going to be a couple more trades coming, and one of them might be a big name that nobody wants to let go. We'll get into that here in a second. But what do you think of the trades that were made by the Browns to the Bengals with Flacco and to the Jags with Greg Newsome?
So in a vacuum, I agree with both trades, right? I didn't understand why Browns fans were so upset about Joe Flacco going to the Bengals. I just don't get it. I think it's just Browns fans being just scared, maybe.
Can I pause you for a second on that one?
Yeah.
Because I started thinking about it, and I think what it is with Browns fans, and this is, me being his man, what were we doing with him at the beginning of the year then? Why were we wasting our time with this 4-quarterback competition? Why even bring him in if you're just going to start Dylan Gabriel a few weeks later? Why not just start Dylan Gabriel right out of the gate? Like, I think that's what Browns fans are kind of more upset about. Like, we just wasted, 4 or 5 games with a guy that you're just going to trade away to Cincinnati and it's going to start for them. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I mean, the plan sucked. But what are you going to do? Plans change, right? We're 1-4. Joe Flacco's not doing you any good, right? I'm just as frustrated about it, right? Basically, your entire offseason, you gave all the reps to Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, right? And neither of them are on the damn team 5 weeks in. So, yeah, it's frustrating. But like I said, in a vacuum, just the trade itself, I mean, it makes total sense, right? Like you said, Joe's not going to be here next year. Let's be realistic. If he has a good game, it's going to come with 2 turnovers, right? Even with the Bengals' great weapons at wide receiver, their offensive line is probably worse than ours. So he's not going to all of a sudden learn how, run faster or anything like that. So I wasn't concerned about that. They move up like maybe 50, 60 spots in the draft. Great, right? I am also frustrated at the plan, but getting rid of Joe Flacco for something is better, in my opinion, than nothing. The Greg Newsome trade, again, in a vacuum, I think was a good trade. Greg has not performed well, in my opinion. The entire time he's been here, he has not lived up to his first-round status, you could say. I think he played better this year on the outside. Obviously, that's where his natural position is. But I think he also got very lucky. There was, especially, I remember a couple drops that Jameson Williams had in the Detroit game where Greg was toasted.
Mm.
And because he dropped the ball, right, it doesn't count, right? It still Greg Greg still got a great PFF grade and all that stuff for that game. Same thing with the Bengals game. I'm pretty sure Jamar Chase dropped the ball, which, it was a hard contested ball, but still it was catchable for him. So I think he was playing better this year, but I still don't think. I mean, I can't ever get that Houston Texans playoff game out of my mind where he just got burnt like toast one play after another, and they just went after him. I just don't think he's very good, and I don't know much about the player they got back for him, right? The cornerback. Apparently, he wasn't good in the Jaguars' new system. Better at man than zone, and that's all they want to play. So I get it. I just think it's a chance to hopefully grab onto something, rather than you would have just said goodbye to Greg at the end of the year and moved on anyway, right? You see anything any different there, Fatty?
No, and I think the big thing is with Greg Newsome, the way he was playing this year and coming into a contract year with Greg Newsome, he was going to be asking for about 20 mil a year, and you just can't afford that right now. The trade with for Tyson Campbell, they already did re-sign him, so we have him until I think it's 2028 or 2029. But it's also one of those ones where I think it changed the scenery, put him here in Jim Schwartz's defense. He will be getting the start today, but also he's 25 years old too, so it's not like we traded for. And it's weird because you never really see a player for player trades in the NFL. It's very rare that happens, and that's what just happened here. So Greg going there, I think, is good for Greg. He might get an extension. Obviously, the Jags like him enough to trade one of the people that they extended to us, and then, obviously a pick swap later. Can you believe, though, that we got a 5th-round pick for Joe Flacco? Like, it amazes me.
My Bengals buddy said the Bengals called the Browns, and they weren't looking at anybody else. They wanted Joe Flacco. They didn't want Jameis Winston. They didn't want Russell Wilson. Like, they wanted Joe. I don't know why, but I mean, like I said, people will probably throw a fit because he'll throw a 300-yard game, right, with those wide receivers, I'm sure. But again, it's going to come with an interception and a fumble or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be. I don't know. The thing that bothers me is that the timing of all of this, right? I mean, you had already mentioned with the plan being such crap, but to do this all in the middle of the week, like, I know Jim Shorts was pissed to lose his, second cornerback, on what was it, Tuesday night? Like, he had already game planned for the week, right? So
yeah,
I think. I don't know. Everybody wants to give Andrew Berry a pass because he had one good draft this year. But I think he's just like, it's almost like he's doing everything he can to handicap this team. And it just drives me crazy because everybody lumps Stefanski and Berry together when it comes to draft picks and trades and stuff. But I think Stefanski finally stopped being a company man for the first time this week and said, man, enough is enough. He's like, I didn't expect Joe to go. We weren't ready for this. Like, that was an Andrew Berry thing. Like, talk to him, right? Like, usually he's like, oh, we all are on board. Like, I don't think he's always been on board for most of this stuff. But am I crazy there? What do you think?
I think so. I think it was he even came out and said it, that, the way he worded it, I think they were in lockstep, but also I don't think they were expecting a phone call from Cincinnati, of all people, for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's why they kind of got off guard. Everything else, he's been saying that they've been lockstep. I think just right now, he's just kind of frustrated with things that are going on. And then also the way the offense is playing now, because the offense is his baby and we can't score more than 17 points ever. It's been like, what is it? It's almost been 10 straight games now that we have not scored. And the one anomaly, we scored 20 on the dot, was the one anomaly out of all of it. I have no hate for Flacco. Let's see here. Is Chase playing? They have not come out with the injury report yet. He's questionable. I think he was having think it's a hamstring, but I'm not 100% sure with that. We'll get the injury report here in a little bit. We do have a Twitter poll out on our X page or Twitter page, whatever you're at, Network 216. It's been a while since we've had a regular season win in Pittsburgh. You think the Browns can pull it off today? We have yes, we have a no, and then we have a oh hell no. So we'll see about that one. And Casey, they might have had said illness. I haven't seen. We'll keep you updated. We'll get the injury report here within the next probably 10 minutes or so. We'll get full injury report. It was nice seeing Conklin back, even though I am not a huge fan of Conklin because he gets hurt all the time. Also, Cam Robinson will be getting the start at left tackle today. So with that, hey, hopefully he does not commit as many penalties as he did in London. But I think pretty much 90% of our penalties were on the left tackle spot in London. So hopefully we get that cleaned up. So our offensive line is looking not great, but better coming up to this game. What do you see today, what we have to do to beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh?
So I think, number one, you just mentioned it, the offensive line. If Levison is not the starting left tackle, I think that's a huge boost. Obviously, you've got to continue to rely on Judkins. And I think Kevin has to take, at least one of the training wheels off today, right? We can't keep doing this dink and dunkin' 5 yards and less stuff. I mean, I get what he's trying to do, but Dylan Gabriel played I think the most college games, the most years, like because of COVID and all that stuff. The kid's experienced. It's not his first game anymore. I know Steelers defense is vaunted and all that stuff, but I think you got to take the training wheels off. I think the defense has to make a big impact and get after Rodgers. I'm really looking forward to that left tackle matchup, which we'll talk about later. But those are the biggest things I see. And then another big thing, I know Calvin Austin has already been ruled out. So we'll see. I think after Calvin Austin, the next wide receiver that has any yards on the Steelers has like 2 catches for 22 yards. Everything else is tight ends and running backs. So that's why I'm really excited about this game. I really, even though it's been a very, very long time since we've won in Pittsburgh in the regular season, I'm confident for some odd reason, which me, the last 4 weeks I have not been. So, what else do you think that we need to see to stand a chance? Because I know you're not as confident as I am today.
It's not okay. So it's not that I think all my confidence is gone because you had 2 chances to be 3-2 and you're not 3-2. And I think that's why I'm just kind of, plus I'm not feeling good. We already talked about that earlier. But I think what they really need to do is figure out if they got fucking wide receivers or not. I'm sorry for my language. Normally I don't cuss this early in the morning, but Jerry Jeudy, 1 catch. Isaiah Bond, 2 catches. Like between Njoku and Fanning had the most majority of the catches. Your wide receiver core is not helping you out at all right now. And we got to get them on the same page because if we can't do anything with the wide receivers, then you might as well just run, hey, let's kick it old school, jumbo I formation, and just come off of that. Just put 3 tight ends out there, a fullback and a tailback, and let them go. Because, I mean, that's what it's going to look like. We need Jerry Jeudy to start catching the ball instead of dropping it. I have a feeling that he's probably going to have a meltdown today if he doesn't do anything good. And Isaiah Bond, quit running routes. Stop not running routes. I saw a couple videos where he's right mid route and he just kind of comes up lame. And it's like, what are you doing? You got to finish the route. So a lot of that right now. But I think we really need to get our wide receivers on track today. Obviously, our tight ends are doing the majority of the load with Njoku and Fanning. but also I want to see more than check down passes from Dylan Gabriel. Most of his passes, yeah, it's Casey. It's going to be a meltdown. But most of his passes were 5 yards away or bubble screens. We got to be able to push the ball downfield just a little. And hey, I'm not saying just air it out and just 40-yard bombs. You need that mid-range pass game. And with everybody playing at too high safety on you, those little 5, 10, 15-yard routes right there in the middle is where your bread and butter should be. So we need to get it out fast, especially with the pass rush that Pittsburgh has, even though Myles Garrett is so much better than TJ Watt. And we'll find out here later when we have somebody come on with us. He is coming on with us, right?
Yeah.
He's here now. He's here now. So, but yeah, so that's what we're doing. But yeah, I think that's what we need to do for today's game. Do you want to bring him in now and start busting his balls?
Sure. Yeah. Bring him in. He's probably primed up, ready to go. He's at the game, coming to us live from the game. We've got a couple questions for him. This is he's looks like he's heading to the game right now. So. Yeah. This is a guy I know from the Dover Chop Shop and actually in your city there, North Olmsted. Mm-hmm. Joe Kapransky, he is a huge Steelers fan, as you can now tell.
Good afternoon, fellows.
How we doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. Excited for the game. Got about, a little over an hour, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, how many beers in are you?
I'm about 7.
7? That's a good number.
Yeah.
That's a good round number.
What time did you start today? You guys get there early?
We checked in. We went to a tailgate, my son and I, and I'd say we probably got there about 9, a little after 9. So ate some food, had a few beer.
Cool.
Everything's perfect.
What's the vibe like out there? Everybody's confident?
Seeing a little bit of brown stuff. Less than years previous, but it's cool. I don't know. I didn't see anybody driving up on the turnpike this morning. We were on the road early, so normally I'm like looking out the window, see if I see any brown Steelers gear on the way into Pittsburgh from the Cleveland area, but whatever. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect weather. Weather shouldn't be a factor. Yeah, just excited for the game.
Heck yeah, no missed kicks then. Fatty, you got some. Let's get right to it. You get the first question you got for him is going to just set him off into a tizzy. So why don't you go ahead and line it up, baby?
Well, no, and this is just a curiosity question for me because we've been carouseling head coaches forever here. And what are your thoughts on Mike Tomlin as a coach this year? But also just in general, because he's never had a losing season.
We all know that, man. That's what everyone goes to. So,
but no, I'm just curious because
my thoughts are Mike Tomlin. I appreciate like the Steeler way of doing things, the stability. Tomlin, man, he's like a Toyota Corolla with like 250,000 miles. Like things are starting to break down. It was good to you years ago, but it's not the perfect car right now. So, I'd be okay with a change. He hasn't won a playoff game. We're coming up on almost 9 years. So that's a problem for me. As a season ticket holder, financially invested, I'd be okay with a change, man.
Okay. The reason why I asked is, obviously here in Cleveland, it's a coaching carousel every year. And you guys have had a stable coach for that long and a winning coach at that. And it's like, for me, it's like, what, you guys don't love this guy? Like, build this guy a statue. He's won every year. I get it. I get where you guys are at because you've had him for so long. And it's kind of old hat now. So I just wanted a Steelers fan perspective on it.
Yeah, my movement of let's move on from Mike Tomlin it's growing. I would say there's more people that are, because we're coming up on almost a decade with no playoff wins. So we want a little bit more results come playoff time. So
yeah,
it's the bottom line, man. It's regular season it's a glorified exhibition. It's what are you going to do in the playoffs? What have you done for me lately? So,
Yeah. And speaking of head coaches, there's been a lot of head coaches for the Cleveland Browns that have gone into Pittsburgh and lost and not had their job when they came back to Cleveland. As a Steelers fan, would it surprise you if Kevin Stefanski got fired after today's loss, if they lose today?
I think they're pretty committed to Kevin. I don't see him going anywhere. The London game, the Browns should have won, man. I almost felt like they maybe wanted to lose. How he was calling that game at the end. It was, I don't know, left shaking my head. So I don't know. If you just look at their moves and what they've done leading up to everything where we're at, like right today, getting rid of Greg Newsom's gone, Flacco's gone. They're trading out from their pick, moving back, accumulating picks. Seems like they're committed to maybe Stefanski and maybe 2029 when the new stadium opens.
Yeah.
All right, now I want you to be honest, and I know you're wearing your Steelers gear around everybody in Pittsburgh right now, but I want you to be honest. Is Myles Garrett better than TJ Watt?
I mean, flip a coin on most days and, 50-50. Slight edge today to Myles. Slight edge. I don't know. I mean, TJ Watt, he's hasn't really finished the season healthy, not helping the Steelers win playoff games. If I were both teams, man, I would have traded. If I was the Steelers, I would have traded TJ Watt. If I was the Browns, I would have traded Myles Garrett and got a boatload.
Yeah.
Both are entering that time in their career where it's maybe might be time to move on. I don't know if the contract's going to live up to the expectations.
Okay. And speaking of TJ Watt and the Steelers' vaunted defense, it has seemingly taken a step back this year, right? They've given up at least 21 points per game every game so far this year. What do you attribute to? What are the main reasons you've seen for that decline?
Bottom line is the Steelers can't stop the run, so you're giving up. They're giving up a ton on the run. You can't stop the run. You can't do anything in this league. They addressed it in the draft. Derek Harmon. We'll see. He got hurt in a preseason game. He's they're easing him into to the season. We'll see if he can help out. First round pick out of Oregon. Jackson Dart's looking pretty good. The Steelers need a quarterback, so I'm like, I don't know. I like stopping the run too. I'm a defense guy, so I don't know. We'll see how it works out. You got to stop the run. You got to get off the field.
All right, last question for me, and then Brian will hit you with one. With the way this division is going right now, and the Steelers are at the top of it, do you think they can actually hold out and win the division this year with a weaker North than what it has been?
Can you repeat it? It's a little bit loud here.
Okay, I said with the Steelers right now leading the division, do you think that they could hold on to that division lead and win the division this year in the AFC North, or do you think that somebody will sneak up on them?
Man, the table's set for the Steelers to make a run. They've also had in past seasons 3-game losing streaks going into the playoffs, so it's a whole Mike Tomlin thing. It's it's looking pretty good. The Ravens sitting where they're sitting. Lamar not playing this week. They're in a good spot. You just got to take care of business in the games you're supposed to win, and then you see what happens. They have a good chance to host a playoff game here later this year. So we'll see. I'm optimistic. Yeah. No way I'm saying 100%. There's no way.
Okay. And speaking of the rest of the year, Aaron Rodgers has been pretty damn good, I'd say, to say the least, to this point anyway, right at 41. What have you seen from him so far? Do you think it's sustainable for the year? What's the general
Man, Aaron Rodgers, you hand him the keys and say, here you go, man. Like, the guy is future Hall of Famer. He's won a Super Bowl. He beat the Steelers. That one was a tough one to swallow. Thank you, Rashard Mendenhall. Like, right, you give him the keys, you let him go. I don't know. I mean, bottom line is, can you protect him? The Steelers have left tackle Broderick Jones. I think Myles Garrett's going to have his way with him today. You're going to have to double team him with Darnell Washington. I love the veteran guy. I love the 40-year-old plus guy going out there doing what he's doing. That makes me feel good as a 52-year-old guy. I love the older guy, man. Go out there and do it. I rooted for Favre when he did it. I don't know, but you got to protect the quarterback. You got to establish the run. They have Jalen Warren. He's I always liked him better than Najee, but is he going to make it through a whole season? I don't know. So got to protect Rodgers at all costs. So we'll see what happens.
All right. And
before we get you out of here, what's your score predict for today?
Score prediction: Steelers 27, the Cleveland Browns 13.
Okay, give us an X factor of the game.
The X factor. I'm going to say Chris Boswell is going to hit a 58-yarder right before the half.
All right, I
give
like
the Steelers a little lead. I don't know. Boswell. Everyone wants to pay T.J. Watt. You should pay Boswell. The dude is he's best, if not second best kicker in the NFL right now. Pay Boswell.
All right. Joe, thank you so much for hopping on with us. Go have another beer.
I will. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Not a problem.
I'll check in later this year from First Energy Stadium if you guys will have me.
Definitely. Definitely.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. Go Browns, go Steelers.
That's awesome. That was awesome.
I gotta tell you, man. Like I said, he's at the barbershop that I get my hair cut at Dover Chop Shop, and man, every time I go in there, I just razz him with the Mike Tomlin thing because he's kind of fed up with him, right? He's like,
it just baffles me because you have a head coach that has not had a losing season, and you want him gone, and I get that sometimes it's just old because they've been there, but like for us, I'm like, shit, bring him over here. What is a winning season? I want to know what that's like. Like, you can have more than one in like 2 decades? Yeah, all right. Like, send that guy over here. Let's have some fun with him.
Oh,
my God. Oh, what a great time, though. Tell him I said thank you, and anytime he wants to come on again, we'll have him on.
Will do. Like I said, he's unique because he lives in Cleveland, but he's a Steelers fan, and he talks sports all day, right? So he's got a lot of Browns knowledge, a lot of Steelers knowledge. So he's a good guy. He mentioned Jackson Dart while we were talking a little bit, and I'm a fan of Jackson Dart. I'm kind of just surprised. I guess to me, it just frustrated me even more to watch him play on Thursday. 3 weeks in, and it's like, man, it is to not have. Obviously, the Browns did not have a first-round grade on him, right? Otherwise, they would have probably drafted him at 5 because of how badly we need a quarterback. Is that another area? I know, in my opinion, anyway, Andrew Berry cannot find wide receivers, cannot find offensive linemen, but is that another area that we have to start considering that Andrew Berry just has another blind spot for? It's just drafting quarterbacks.
Well, if you think about it, just pause for a second. Where was Dylan Gabriel picked to be drafted? He was late rounds. We drafted him 3rd round.
5th.
Hold on. Not saying that, but also he's 5 foot, 3, 4? He keeps getting shorter every time I talk about him. But then you also draft Shedeur Sanders, not because of necessity, just because he's there. And, it's just I think they do have a blind spot for the quarterback. Obviously, they have a blind spot for offensive linemen. I'm pretty sure Zach Zinner is going to be another healthy scratch today, which is just blowing my damn mind. Let me pull up the Brown stuff here. But, yeah, I think they have a little bit of a blind spot for the quarterback. And, and the last – obviously, Baker was John Dorsey's pick.
Yeah.
So, at that point in time, look at what he had. DTR he drafted, and now,
Yep.
These two. So, God, I hope it just gets better. I do. I'm sorry, but I'm just I hate the Steelers. I hate losing to the Steelers, and everything irks me today because it's the freaking Steelers.
Well, like you said, I mean, our offensive line now should be good enough. I really think if Robinson is starting, he'll do better this week. I think Jack Conklin is now your blindside blocker right at the right tackle, and he played a pretty damn good game on Sunday in London. So I think we can. I think we have the advantage there as far as O-line, even though the Steelers are currently ranked 17th in the league. So I'm confident, man. I don't know what it is. Like I said, last 4 weeks I've had no confidence. Today I'm brimming with it. So let's go.
All right, so I got the injury report here. As of right now, everybody on Cleveland is good to go except for Mike Hall is still out. And on the Pittsburgh side, Jalen Ramsey is still questionable with a hamstring. And like you said, Calvin Austin is out with a shoulder injury. But everybody else is good to go for them. So we'll see what happens here. We did have a bet. We got a bet going on right now. Let's talk about our bets that we got going on. Then we'll get more into the Pittsburgh and Cleveland showdown today at 1 o'clock. I believe it's on CBS. It should be on CBS. By the way, the great thing is for Cleveland, all you got to do is say, hey, it's a 1 o'clock game, because that's all we have is 1 o'clock games. All right. So the bet that I brought up to you, which I think should hit us, especially for a Browns bet for today, I think it should win some money. I got over 25.5 yards for Harold Fanning Jr. receiving. I got over 100 plus for rushing and receiving yards for Quinshawn Judkins. And I have a Judkins anytime touchdown. And all that is, I believe it's plus 535. So a little $5 holla will win you $31.
Yeah, and I was going to say, so I hopped on that one as well. Jalen Warren, I like. The other thing I like, if you want to sprinkle in a little extra sauce there, his over/under, I believe, is 50 yards. That's what I'm seeing on DraftKings right now. Anyway, I like the under for that. I think the Browns defense is going to shut down the run game, and you heard Joe talk about it too. I mean, our defensive line is just, I think it's one of the best, if not the best in the league right now. And I just don't see them losing again this week like they did last week to a backup running back. So I'm fairly confident. If you want to make it a little more risky, throw on that under for him too.
And if you think about it, they've hit pretty much every under with running backs. I mean, they held Derrick Henry. Chase Brown was held to an under. So, they do a very good job against the run. They really do. So, that would be one I might actually have to go in now and update my portfolio for that one. All right. So let's look at this. Let's dive into this. All right. We have a weaker offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers with our defensive line, which is our strength. And then on offense, Bud, we're starting to get healthy on the offensive line. But their defensive line is nothing to be quiet about, because Hines Smith, Hayward, TJ Watt on that end. Yeah, I have a feeling there might be a lot of sacks today. What do you think?
I think there's going to be a lot of sacks, but I think they're going to come from the Browns. I don't think they're going to be coming as much from the Steelers as you think. TJ Watt always lines up on the, I don't know what side you call that, the right side against the right tackle, right?
Right tackle.
With Conklin there, I'm confident. The only thing that gives me pause is I don't like when Kevin Stefanski puts his tackles on an island when they're not doing well, and it doesn't change that in game. He's done it. People complained about it when he did it with Baker, with TJ Watt, how TJ Watt was just living in the backfield.
Mhm.
Same thing with Aiden Hutchinson a couple weeks ago against the Lions. They just didn't send any chippers, blockers to help. So that's the one area of concern I do have. But I think Jack Conklin should be able to handle TJ Watt. Now, on the other side, you mentioned Heinz Smith, Robinson, Levison, whoever's over there. Unfortunately, we don't have a good option at left tackle. And that was,
Mhm.
again, another Andrew Berry masterclass. Stick DeJuan Jones out there. We have big question mark. And then after that, we have no backup plan. So I am concerned a little bit on that side. But again, that's Dylan Gabriel is left-handed. So I think he's going to be able to show his escapability and maybe, run around and maybe show a little bit of Jackson Dart, a little bit of Josh Allen. Not that I'm comparing him to those people, but just that he can escape and extend the plays that way. And I think on the Browns defensive side of the ball, I think Mason Graham's going to continue to see more and more double teams this week, and which I think is going to free up Myles Garrett, Isaiah McGuire, those guys. And I think the Browns are gonna eat this week. What about you? You think the Browns are gonna get their Dylan Gabriel's gonna be living on the ground?
I just worry because it seems like every time we're in Pittsburgh, and especially playing the Steelers, it seems like TJ Watt every now and then kind of shows up. And the one that really worries me is Cam Hayward, right up the gut, right up the middle. Probably one of the best defensive tackles. I'm not saying ever, but one of the best that's been around for a while. So the one thing that really does concern me though right now is our secondary, especially with Newsome not being there. Trying to get a new guy in here, seeing how well he does today, especially going up against a very big physical receiver with DK Metcalf. That's going to be a one to watch today. And then also on our side, offensive side, like I said before, I got to see something out of these wide receivers. This Pittsburgh secondary is not like it used to be. You can gain some yards on them, and especially if Ramsey's hurt, right now being questionable, you got to take advantage of that. And I got to see something from wide receivers today. I mean, more than just 2 catches. That's all our wide receivers had last week. Was 2 catches. Two.
Yep.
We can't have that. We can't have that anymore, especially in this day and age of the NFL. So I need to see Gabriel get the ball out to our wide receivers and let them do some work on the outside. Hopefully that will free up the inside a little bit more for the tight ends and Junkins to do some damage. So that's what I see going on today. Let's get into some X factors today. All right. So who's a couple of your X factors for today?
So one on the coaching side, I'll just throw out again, Tomlin, he's very much, seems to go by his gut, right? On 4th downs, doesn't always get aggressive. I think he's going to not be aggressive. And I think Kevin Stefanski is going to be aggressive. I think Kevin Stefanski's feeling the pressure. So I think you're going to see that have a big play in this game. I just mentioned Mason Graham. I think he's going to have a huge impact on this game, which is going to allow Myles Garrett a little more freedom. And you had mentioned it in your bet. I think Harold Fannin Jr., I wouldn't be surprised if he had 50-plus receiving yards this week. I think he's going to have a big factor in today's game. What about you?
Yeah, my X factors right now in defense, I got Denzel Ward shutting down DK Metcalf because obviously they don't have anybody else. And also anybody but Myles Garrett getting after Aaron Rodgers. We're going to expect Myles to get there, but getting pressure from other people, get Aaron Rodgers, get a little happy feet, get those 41-year-old happy feet moving. And then, like you said, offensively, I'm with you. I think Fanning's going to have a big day today. I think Njoku is going to have a big day today because guess what? They're the only ones catching passes right now. I do see, though, I have a feeling, and I normally don't have that big of feelings, and we're going to start right now with our bold takes, going right into it right now. My bold take today, I have a feeling that Isaiah Bond's going to have a big game today. I have a feeling it's going to be over 75 receiving yards today for Isaiah Bond. So I have a weird feeling about Isaiah Bond today. What about you?
I support you, man. I think, as crazy as it sounds, I think Isaiah Bond is like the best wide receiver on this team. Unfortunately, it's crazy to say it out loud, but I think you're right. My bold prediction: I think the Browns are going to have a sack party. I think it's going to be 6 sacks today. I think Miles is going to get a pair. I think Malik Collins. I think Mason Graham gets one. Six sacks. 6.
Shit.
Yeah, not as fun as that Bears game a couple of years ago when they had 9. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to. I've been watching some of the highlights from the last few weeks. He holds the ball and holds the ball and holds the ball to try and make a play. And I think this defensive line is not to be messed with, man. And again, Roderick Jones, I just don't think he's that good of a left tackle. I think today is the day that the defensive line just shows up. Myles Garrett takes over the game and has some crucial third down sacks. And there you have it. That's what I'm guessing.
All right. Do you have any trivia for us today?
Oh, I sure do.
All right. Let's hear that trivia.
I've tried to keep this from you because we've talked about it already several times, but I also have a backup plan in case you know right away. So when we've talked about the Browns have not won in Pittsburgh in the regular season in a long time, when was the last time that we did win in the regular season in Pittsburgh? What year?
Has it been since 99?
Yes, it's more recent than 99.
I'm going to go with a weird, let's see here. Let's go 2016. Nope. That was a bad year. Can't do that. They didn't win any games that year. No, got to back it up a little bit. What about 2009?
You're getting closer. It was 2003.
Jesus!
22 years. Now, we obviously had that playoff win, right? Where Big Ben was crying on the bench, and that was probably one of the best days of my life.
2003?
The regular season, 2003. And here's your bonus, since you didn't get it, but I'll give it to you anyway. Here's your bonus question. Who was the quarterback for the Browns in 2003 when they did win the last game in Pittsburgh? You want some options?
Yeah.
Jeff Garcia, Luke McCown, Kelly Holcomb, or Tim Couch? God, 2003.
That sounds like either Tim Couch or Kelly Holcomb. I'm going to go Kelly Holcomb.
It was actually Couch, but they both played that year. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, that sounds like a weird Kelly Holcomb one. I should have done Luke McCown. That would have been the one that did it.
Dude, I forgot that I was like, no. This is supposed to be Josh McCown when I'm doing my research. I'm like, oh, yeah, Luke McCown did play here. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Like, we had both McCown brothers here. But I mean, last year, talking about the Steelers, I mean, we did split the series, right? We had the snow game that we won with Jameis. Mm-hmm. We also had the loss in week 14 where their defense was just dominant. And I think we put up like 14 points, which now we've gotten used to, but Russell Wilson played pretty well in that game. And, yeah, I don't know. I just we all know the rivalry. We all know how much Cleveland fans hate Pittsburgh, and I don't know. That probably would have been a good question. Maybe we'll ask Joe next time he's on. But I wonder who they hate more. I bet you it's the Ravens. They hate more than the Browns.
I bet you it's the Ravens too, and that's what sucks for it. It used to be us for the longest time, and then somebody steals our team, wins a couple Super Bowls with it, and next thing you know, that's their rival now. Like, whatever, rappers. Yeah. All right, let's do our Twitter poll reaction, and then we'll get our picks in, and we will go watch the football game. So, on our Twitter poll, we have, can the Browns pull off a regular season win in Steelers country for the first time in a long time? Right now, 56.5% say yes, 30.4% say no, and a whopping 13% said hell no. So at least hell no is getting some votes.
Well, I hate to go with the hell no's, so I'm gonna go with the surprise. I've picked the Browns to lose almost all of the games since week 1. I say the Browns win a close game today. They are going to win 20-17. Again, the Aaron Rodgers is going to be dancing back there. Myles Garrett is going to wreck the game. Special teams don't make any huge gaffes, which is a huge, huge positive for us. I think Judkins has a great game. We've already talked about Fannin. Stefanski takes off the training wheels just enough to allow Dylan Gabriel to maybe he throws 2 touchdowns and an interception, but we're going to try and push the ball down the field a little bit, score some points, 20 points for the first time in 10 games. I think they're due. So I think this streak, this history that we just discussed, I think it's nonsense. I don't think it has anything to do with today. I'm feeling it. So let's go Browns, baby. What do you got, Fatty? What's your prediction?
I'm never picking the fucking Steelers. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I'm going to go Browns today, 23, Pittsburgh 14. They get off to Schneid, but I have a feeling that our kicker is going to be doing a lot of kicking today. I have a feeling that he's going to have a lot of field goals today there in Steeler country, but I'm okay with that. Junkins, like I said, anytime touchdown, I get the feeling that he's going to get his 100 yards and a touchdown. And hopefully this defense causes some turnovers because that's what they need the most right now, especially to help out this offense is flip the field. So let's get some turnovers on defense, and that's what I got for today, 23-14, Cleveland Browns. Winner, chicken dinner.
Love it. Let's celebrate afterwards, baby.
Woo! All right. Well, everybody, Casey, thank you. Chop Shop Rob, thank you so much for coming in, all this stuff. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Go give us a like and subscribe on all of our socials here at Network 216. And guess what? See you next week at probably 11:30 because it's probably going to be another 1 o'clock game. So
that it is.
Here
we go, Brownies. Here we go.
All right, let's go. Go Browns. Have a good time, everybody. See you. And by the way, if they win today, you are never coming back to the city of Cleveland. Ever. By the way, he's on location. Ever. If they win, the 2 times they win, you are not in the freaking city limit. You're staying out. You're staying out. And I don't want to see you back here until the postseason. All right. I'll be like,
you got it.
Can't come back till the postseason. Then you can come back and then be all right. If they win today, though, those are the rules.
You got it. You got it.
You better tell your wife and the kids that too, because they're going with you.
They'll be happy if I'm happy on Sundays, so no worries there. No convincing.
All right, but we'll have a safe trip back to Cleveland today, and I will talk to you next week, bud. Have a good time.
Heck yeah. You too, Fatty.
All right, go Browns.
Go Brownies.